Mortgage business, man. I think I've never gone to an event and seen so many people come up and say, thanks for all you do for the industry and in general, keeping us a better loan officer. And I just want to thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Brad. Thanks for everything you do, man. I'm a big fan of the things you're doing.
Well, I want to start with a couple things. For those people who may not know what you offer or MBS Highway, I think there's a huge difference with a loan officer knowing the market, even partially knowing the market, maybe not as expert as you are, but paying attention, keeping your head up to what the market's doing that benefits the clients. And I guess what I want to know is, where do you see the advantage for some of the members who use MBS Highway, how they're using your tools?
So what we really strive to do is a couple of things. Number one is, if you ask me what's the best way and the fastest way to make more money and be more successful, I'd say the easiest way to do that is to take more of the conversations that you're having and convert them into applications. Convert more of the conversations with referral sources and have them start to refer you business. So with that end, how do you do that? Well, you've got to be a lot smarter than your competition, especially today. You've got Rocket Mortgage and more technology coming to play. Amazon's getting into the mortgage business. You know, being an expert is something, a term that people say, hey, I'm an advisor. How are you an advisor? What are you doing? If you know how to put a loan together, that's important. That's good. You've got good rates and good service, and your return that's good. But does that make you an advisor, or can you be replaced? You know, think about this. What's a travel agent right now? Okay, what's a travel agent? Okay, sure. How many people were in that industry? Replaced. Stockbrokers. Take a page out of their book. When online trading platforms came about, what happened? You had so many stockbrokers making so much money, and that has shrunk to very few, but those few are making a lot of money because they don't have to compete with $9.99 a trade because they're charging 1% on your assets, okay, that are under management. Are you doing transactions, or do you have loans under management? Are you really an advisor? And you get there not just by putting a loan together, critically important, but you have to understand the business we're in. We're not in the mortgage business. You know, who wants a mortgage? Yeah, give me debt. That's what I really want right now. You know what you want? You want money. And you have to understand that money is your product. And in order to be really good at this game, you have to understand how money works, how to get people to understand the most opportune times and most opportune products for them, for their portfolio, but also understanding the real estate market and articulating the real estate market opportunity. And that's what we do at MBS Highway. We really give you the tools to do that, to help you, so that when you're on a phone call, you sound a lot better than somebody who doesn't have this tool.
I think an average loan officer is not tooled with some of the stuff that's out there. And I think if you took a pool of 100 of them and you just got a little bit of edge with the stuff you guys provide, it's worlds ahead of some of the competition. If somebody, you know, I think when I first started, I think you get into the candlesticks and all this, it can be overwhelming, just like getting into the mortgage business for the first time and trying to turn a loan in FHA. How does someone kind of get started with you, and what are the tools to make them a little smarter right out of the gate?
So yeah, do we talk about the market? Do we help you with that? Absolutely we do. But really the little 4 or 5 minute video I do every day gives you what to say to your customer. More reason to sound like a polished professional, and also gives you more of an incentive to want to call more people because you have something to say. You know, a lot of coaching programs out there say, hey, you've got to make all these calls. You bet. But what we really do is we really give you something to say. So go ahead and make all those calls, but make them with something to say.
I love that.
You know,
I want to stop you for a second because there's so much out there of, hey, call all your partners on Monday and call your VIP list Mondays and then call your pre-approvals Thursday. I had a coaching student 2 days ago ask me, what do I say every single week? And it's like, man, what a great piece. That's huge.
So and you hit the nail on the head. That's correct. And then, you know, when you're asking, you know, what are some of the things that we could do? So yes, of course we talk about the market, but that's a very small part of MBS Highway. And some people say, hey, you know what? I just lock everybody. Well, if you blindly locked everyone, well, guess what? Rates have gone up a lot. You may have transactions that you're not going to meet the rate lock expiration. And then now what do? It's going to be real expensive to get that extension if you need it. And what about times, now right now rates have been moving up. What about times when rates are moving down? So if rates are moving down, you're locking everybody, you're going to have people happy. I've had people say to me, "Oh, well, it's too late for them to get out of the lock with me because they're going to have to close their purchase shortly thereafter." So okay, so maybe that's the case, but you may have gotten this loan, but you really think you're going to get a referral? You really think that you've made a happy customer? They watch everybody else get a lower rate and you've stuck them with a higher rate. Look, like it or not, you have to take a position, either locking or floating. And it's better to do that with the best advice that's out there and help your customer. I wrote $2 billion worth of mortgages in my mortgage career. I never had one customer say to me, "Hey, Barry, that thing that says right there, fill out whatever you want." Everybody's concerned with it, okay? Everybody wants to know, and every single one of them want to know, is this a good time to lock or float? How are you responding to that question? By the way, that's a small piece of MBS Highway. You really want to be an expert in the market? We have tools that no one else has. We have data that we've spent millions and millions of dollars for. You want the last 43 years of data of real estate values for every single county and every single MSA, every single one of them in the United States. We have it. And you could display it for your customers in amazing ways, like with a real estate report card. We have forecasts for the next 15 years based on the top 150 economists in the United States, which I have access to because I was chosen as one of them by Zillow and Pulsenomics. In fact,
Wow, nice.
I won the Crystal Ball Award. For the top 150, I was the most accurate real estate forecaster. And I put a lot of that back on thank you to the realtors and the mortgage professionals that are part of MBS Highway and when I go out to speak, so it gives us an advantage because we really have a finger on the pulse. So because we have access to that, I've got the next 15 years worth of forecasts from these experts, which have had an 86% historical correlation of accuracy. So when you take a look at that, and now you have a real estate report card for what it means to you. Brad, think about it. How does somebody buy a home? They start off visually. They start off online. It's a visual process. They start with their eyes. And if they visit the home and they like it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." It's an emotional attachment with their heart. But the decision to buy is a financial one. It's made with their wallet. It's made with their pocketbook. And how does every realtor sell? How does almost every mortgage professional sell? How do they sell? Oh, look at the great hardwood floors, the granite countertops, the quality of schools, the spacious closets. All nice things to say, has nothing to do with how you buy a home. Nothing to do with it. And even mortgage professionals, get you approved, get you closed on time, great service, fight for the lowest rate. All important things. Has nothing to do with the home buying process. You know what has to do with it? The opportunity in real estate. You want to gain more clients, you want to close more opportunities, sell the way people buy. Show them the financial opportunity. Help them, because right now, if you're a borrower, inventory levels are tough. You're not going to have a home that's got everything you want. You maybe have to come in full asking price, over asking price. Nobody wants to do that. But if you show them what the value of this home is going to be 5, 7, 10 years from now and show them the tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's a lot easier for them to make that, and you become your real estate agent's best friends. And we do that with so many tools. Everything from the real estate report card to buy versus rent, appreciation. Remember, in every single county. And we've got an incredible way for you to compare loans and show the cost of waiting based on real numbers. Easy to use, simple, everything works great from your phone. So that's really what the focus is. And a marketing kit, Brad, that, as you know, is something that is very empowering and realtors want to be a part of because it really keeps the customer highly engaged. You know, a lot of times if you want to try and get a realtor relationship, people will go and they'll research a realtor, they'll get their big meeting with a realtor, and they'll sit face-to-face with them. And what's their unique selling proposition? Our rates are great, our service is great, our products are great. Oh, really? That's going to make that realtor now want to start sending you all their business? Come on. Okay. And then what about the people who say, "You know what? I know you got a relationship. Let me be your second choice, your third choice." Do you ever really want to be somebody's second or third choice?
Not really.
No. You deserve to be their number one choice. How do you do that? Ask them one simple question. Have you ever had somebody start the home buying process with you, but they bought from somebody else? Every realtor who's a producer.
Oh, I love that line.
Look, Brad, it's just like me asking anyone who's listening and saying, have you ever had someone that you pre-qualified, but they took an application with somebody else?
Of
All
course.
of us have felt that, right?
Yeah.
It stinks. It sucks. So the realtor knows that pain deeply because it's not just a $5, $10, $20, $30,000 commission. That is painful enough. But a realtor feels really betrayed because they drag these people all over town, put them in their car for 3 days. Their kids threw up in the back seat. When they broke bread with them, they thought they were their friends. They answered their silly questions at 9 o'clock at night, the repeat of the things that they already told them. And then they buy from somebody else. So why don't you mitigate that? Use the marketing kit we have because realtors, I'll tell you what, if they market, they'll mark it with cooking recipes and gardening tips, okay? That's an instant delete.
Okay.
And if they mark it, they'll mark it to gain leads, or they'll mark it after the closing. We'll mark it for you in a co-branded way during the shopping process, and we'll mark it in a way that articulates the opportunity and keeps them highly engaged in the home buying process with you.
So let's talk a little bit about the guy who always, every loan officer, let me rephrase this before I ask it. Every loan officer I talk to, I don't care what company it is, they tend to fall in the same field of our rates suck. And what's funny is it's not just one company, it's like 50 of them that I talk to, and they all say the same thing. Clients are trained to call and ask us for a 30-year fix. Hey, Brad, I was referred to you by Susie Realtor. What's your rate on a 30-year fix? Take me back to what you'd respond to a client like that off an initial call.
So first off, 30-year fixed
Tough,
rates.
isn't it? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, 30-year fixed rates are right now going to represent the vast majority of what we're quoting. The entire ARM market is 5.7% of all applications. So think about it, 94.3% of applications are fixed rates, whether it be a 15-year or a 30-year. So I think it gives you a great opportunity because not too many people are talking ARMs. And when you think about it, statistically speaking, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association and the National Association of Realtors, the chances of you being in a home longer than 10 years is about 8% because many people will have moved. However, more than 50% will have moved, but then probably about 70% will have refinanced within that time frame.
I would agree with that, sure.
So if you think about how many clients in your book of business, if you're listening to this just anecdotally, have lived in the home with the same mortgage longer than 10 years? We'll put it this way. I think it's all safe to assume it's certainly not 94.3%. So yet you have 94.3% of the people betting they're going to be in the same home with the same mortgage longer than 10 years. Because if not, they'd take a 10-year ARM, a 7-year ARM. And what we need to do as professionals is open their eyes to it and explain it to them. We have a tool that shows you very, very cleanly in a loan comparison. It's called a loan advisor. At what point in time, you put in as many loan options as you want, at what points in time each loan is better. See, people say, I want to know what's the best loan for me. Which one's the best loan for me? The answer is they can all be the best for you. It just depends on at what period of time. So you could see at which periods of time each loan will be better. And if a loan's going to be better for you for a period of time, let's say between years 4 and 12, that might be your sweet spot. So that may not be a fixed rate. But yet if the customer isn't even introduced to it, how are they going to know that? And look, here's the thing too. Customers know, Brad. They know that 4.5 is worse than 4 3/8. That much you got to give them, okay? Everybody knows that. So given the choice, everybody wants 4 3/8 as opposed to 4.5. However, we have to get them off the rate and into the monetary definition of what that is. So if you have a $300,000 mortgage, why don't you take a look at that? Because what is that going to amount to? I'm guessing here, about $23, $24 a month or so. And then if you have the ability to have that tax deductibility, and then if you break that down to what it comes out to each and every week, it might be in the range of $3, $3.50 a week. Heck, a Starbucks latte, no vanilla. It's $3.65, okay? So are you killing me over the equivalent of a cup of coffee? I mean, if you got a raise of $3.60 a week, would you even be able to afford to celebrate? Would you feel $3.60? Is it going to change your life?
Absolutely not.
So why don't we really focus on the things that could change your life? Picking the right program, looking at the opportunity in real estate, thinking about what we're going to do for that next loan. How are we going to save some money to help your kids get through college, to help you with your retirement account, which is super anemic, get that shored up, and use things like your mortgage. Let me give you that advice and show you that so that the more I impress you with that, the more you say, hey, man, what else am I going to miss if I don't work with you? And the less I'm worried about $3 a week, which I'm never going to feel anyway. So
I love that. Man, I thought I was pretty good on the phone. Boy, oh, boy.
You see, yeah, it has been a while, but it's still there.
Still got it, brother. You still got it. So I can't obviously let you go without telling us what's going to happen in the next year or so, as we've seen the last trend over the few weeks. Market stinks. It's tougher. And I say stinks because we all remember 9%, and it's not that bad. Where are we going with this? Are we coming back down? Should we hold? What's the story?
So the last 45 years, the average rate of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, believe it or not, is 8.25%. So you're pretty darn close, Brad.
Wow.
And so we tell somebody 4.25%, 4.5%. They say, "Oh my God, that's high." It's really not that high. Okay, it's still pretty darn good. However, we have that recency factor that people understand. So here's the deal. As we're recording this now, that 10-year Treasury, it's about 2.7%. Now, there was an important level of 2.635 in the 10-year. Once we broke above that, we have a high degree of confidence that that 10-year Treasury is going up to about 3%, 3.04%. It's a couple of really important things there. That's an important what you call Fibonacci level, but also it represents the top trend line of the 30-year bond bull market that we've been in with 30 years of declining rates. We break above that, it's going to be very, very bad news as far as the way our perception and our customers' perception is on rates, because it means they're going to go higher still. However, look for the 10-year Treasury to get to about 3.04. So what does that mean? It means that you'll probably see about a quarter, maybe 3/8 in rate. So what does that mean? About 100, 150 basis points worse in pricing than you are right now. So be prepared for that. Get ready for that. This is not the time to be cute. Don't start saying, well, maybe I'll try and get a 15-day rate lock, or I'll try and get a third. Take the extra time now. It'll be cheaper than buying it in the future. Now's the time to get your customers off the fence. And you know what? Real estate values are going to continue to go higher. That's the other part that we've got to think about a 4.5%, 5% rate of appreciation. Too much demand, not enough supply. Keep it simple. Prices are going to rise. And when prices rise by 4.5%, 5%, it doesn't seem like a lot, but do the math. Do the math on a $400,000 or $500,000 home. Multiply that over years. It's enormous wealth, and it's tax-free wealth. So would you rather spend another $20,000 or $30,000 for that same home a year from now? And would you rather be paying 3/8 or 0.5% higher? Or would you rather do it right now and get yourself into application, negotiate a great deal right now, make yourself that $25,000 or $30,000 in profit this year and more, start amortizing the loan, build up another $5,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 in amortization, and then on top of it, save yourself 3/8 or so in rate. I mean, it's a simple answer to that.
You are the man. I mean, that's solid. I think, as I'm hearing you, it's like, man, I think a lot of guys doing loans right now, man, I just like to have Barry sitting on the side of my desk or put him in my pocket, because that would come across great. And what the answer is, they can do that. They subscribe to your services. It is like having your pocket, from the mobile app to even the staff, as I've reached out for questions and training. You guys have been phenomenal. Thanks so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps the listeners.
Thank you so much. And Brad, God bless you, man. You are doing just an amazing job with all the things you're doing, man. You're a rock star. And as I said, I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you, sir. You're the man. Appreciate it.